All right. Hi, class. My name is Bianca Ramirez. I am from Calexico, California. That is the southern part of California, really, actually, the border town to Mexicali and 2 hours east from San Diego, in case anybody didn't know where that was at. So I'll go ahead and start with the questions of our discussion. What inspired me to become a nurse? I believe, it's been multiple events and there's been multiple factors that have occurred throughout my life, which have guided me to the field of nursing, which I'm really happy and proud about. I want to say that ultimately it comes very natural to me to be very nurturing and kind of like a teacher. That's something I was always looking into initially, was to become a teacher. And I figured out with time that nursing has a great combination of teaching and nurturing, and there's so many different roles you can have as a registered nurse. So I decided to go into the field of nursing. One specific event was when I took my son to the ER. I was a young and new mom and freaking out because I had this new baby and he had a croup at the time, but he sounded just awful. I remember going to the ER and just really, really stressed out and worried. And luckily, this nurse was great and young and very, very informative and knowledgeable. And she gave me a lot of reassurance on my ability and capability. So that moment was very inspiring for me, and I knew at that time that the reassurance and guidance she gave me, I wanted to be able to provide that, along with caring and helping heal other people. So that would be one event. Let's see, next question. Where have you practiced in the past? So I obtained my LVN license, licensed vocational nurse certification, in 2011. And I started off working with children at a locked psych facility in San Diego, California. That was a very, very eye-opening and job that I started with. I would medicate a lot of children, young children ranging from the age of 5 to adolescents to 16, 17, that were diagnosed with like schizophrenia disorder or bipolar disorder. And I remember medicating kids with Haldol, Seroquel, a lot of ADHD, ADD, a lot of Focalin and Librium, like a bunch of medicines that I now know that are just tough on a kid. Anyways, that was very inspiring and very hard, because a lot of these kids went through a lot of traumatic events and they ended up having all this post-traumatic stress as well. So that's why they were where they were at. I then moved back to my hometown and I started working with children with special needs. For example, cerebral palsy. They were like a lot of nonverbal, or they had different syndromes and conditions which required nursing skills, such as G-tube feedings or trach care, medication administration, all of the above. It was also very, very nice and very inspiring. I enjoyed working with these kids. And then from there, I moved to the local behavioral health, our county behavioral health, which is also a psych program. And I was able to work with adults who suffered from the range of mental health diagnoses, such as schizophrenia, bipolar, major depressive disorder, anxiety. I worked with adolescents as well. I worked at our local crisis department, and that was very inspiring and heartfelt, just because it just really, really tugs at your heartstrings when you see people suffering. Not only like from a physical standpoint, but from an emotional and mental standpoint. And a lot of times, there isn't medication or a quick intervention that's going to help them feel better. So that was very, very eye opening and inspiring as well. At this point, I realized like I love being an LVN, but I knew I wanted to do more. I knew that as an LVN, I was kind of limited in my role. So I decided to go back to school. And the best way to do that was to obtain like a job with shift work. So I decided to embark in the Department of Corrections um, field or job as an LVN and enroll back at school to get my RN. As an LVN at the department, that's when I knew that I wanted to go into the ER. I got exposed to a lot of like trauma scenes, a lot of stabbings, assaults. I did my first CPR there. Mind you, it's usually one nurse and everyone else's custody, so it was like a one person CPR for the first time. So very, very, very exciting job. And I'm really glad that I decided to get my RN there, and the department gave me the opportunity to be able to do school and work full time. So once I got my RN, I did go to the ER, which I really, really enjoyed. The fast pace, acute care, all the interventions, the education, just I really felt at home in the ER. But it's a lot of work. It's high stress. Um, Nonetheless, I felt I could do more. I worked at multiple different ERs, and I knew that although I love bedside, I said I can't do bedside forever. I want to be able to do more and help with the treatment aspect and help with what happens to these patients after the ER. So I decided to go back to school. I moved back from San Diego, and I went back to the Department of Corrections, and that's where I'm at right now, enrolled in school, and I'm really excited for what the future holds. And then lastly, the question is, where would you like to see yourself following graduation? So I've throughout my career as a nurse, I remember always thinking, well, where's the primary doctor? Or like, where's the primary care? Like, because a lot of times we would see, especially in the ER, you see people already at like their wits end, or or they couldn't get to their primary, so they came to the ER with certain conditions exacerbated, or or never been worked on, whatever it is. I just felt like we need more primary care. Like, we need a stronger primary care foundation in our community, at least. So I think I'd like to embark in the primary care aspect, really get a good foundation, get a strong base of knowledge and skills, and then hopefully eventually get into a specialty, whether it be ER or any other type of specialty. I'd like to really specialize and become an expert on a body system, and yeah, and really serve our local community and help out, ultimately all my friends and family that are here. We're a small community. So I'm really excited, and I'm really proud of everybody for embarking into this program, and I hope that we can all make it through with minimal distractions, and I hope you all success in the program, and we'll see you guys in class. Bye bye.